The last period of time, the songs I wrote are based on life in general. It's an amazing array of situations on the planet in this moment. Some places are at peace, some places are at war, some places are in between. People are scattered all over the world and in different pockets. A lot of things are happening. It's amazing how after years of civilization, after thousands of years, we're still looking for a way to get together with one another. And I think should be way more peace. I think people would live together like brothers by now. We had so much civilization, we have so much art, so much technology. We're supposed to be in a different level, in a different level today, and everybody to have a vision of the future, what they want to do with their lives.
Working with Gia, he says complicated. In some ways he is, but very uncomplicated in others. He's very warm. He's a beautiful spirit. And so for me, working with him is easy. And I appreciate the music that he writes because he's fearless. There's not often that you get a chance to work with people that kind of fly in the face of commercial sensibilities.
My father is from Java. Javanese people are very calm, very, you cannot show too much emotion. You cannot get angry. If you have a fight with somebody and you get angry, you lose, right? So that's my family background, but I like the contrast, and maybe sometimes I don't talk enough, so then he can make up for it. If I don't speak too much, then he can speak more.
All of his music is very challenging to play, so harmonically and sometimes rhythmically, but that's what makes it fun to play because you're seeing a lot of chords and sounds and time signatures sometimes that you're not always getting a chance to play, so just kind of got to think on your feet and make it happen.
I've known Gia for, I don't know how long, but a lot of years. More than 10, I would say. I've been putting up with it. I mean, I've been knowing him. I have to interpret what's inside of his head. And as any of you know out there, Gia, inside of Gia's head is, infinite possibilities.
Well, actually, it's a very fun process. We come to the studio, we got no idea what the music is going to be, but something very unique that he has is he has in mind very clear what the plan is. He transmits that to us, and it's always unique to hear the end result after we finish. So for me, it's fascinating. It's very interesting.
Johnny will say, okay, 4 bars, 3 bars, 2 bars, come in, and Gia will go, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of pointing and gesticulating.
Inside of the framework of what that he gives us, we all bring our own past, our own musical education towards this. So even though what we're trying to do is access what we hear in our heads, we also want to make sure that we give the people something that they can, a tangible thing that they can reach out and go, oh, I like that, I recognize that. So even though it's different every time, it's still the experience that you're sharing the music with somebody else, so that energy goes back and forth.
These musicians are legendary in Canada. They are wonderful people also, and they were on tour all around the world with different acts and their own bands. They are very well known on the Mappa Monde, and the professionalism and the top quality of their work allows me to come in the studio and just deliver the scores, and they will do an amazing job for the songs and for the project.
He'd rather just kind of get that live feel and the excitement of kind of a first take of it and see what happens, and then if there's something that has to be fixed or overdubbed, sometimes he writes things that have you know, multiple saxophone parts or guitar parts, so they have to overdub those anyway. So, but in general, they're, in terms of the bed tracks, they're kind of often, most of them are kind of first takes. The odd, out of all of the ones we've done the last couple of days, we may have done another take of it, and then you choose later which one, you know. But yeah, no rehearsals ahead of time.
Well, I would say the biggest ego is the composer himself, and but they are extremely easy to work with, amazingly. In the very beginning, I thought it was going to be very hard because they're all different superstar in every way, and they all have their own profession. I mean, they're in the music business, but they always busy with everything. But it turned out they are very easy to work with, very fine, kind, friendly, and also very flexible.
First of all, it's a top-notch studio, one of the best in the country, obviously, because it's the best in the city, so it's one of the best in the country, and the vibe is great here, and everyone's getting along, and it's, which isn't always the case, and yeah, just a lot of fun.
It's quite a lot of fun. It's always pretty exciting in terms of we never know which way the road is going to turn. It's going to twist or turn this left or right, and it's really interesting. These compositions are fantastic, and the detail that he puts into the compositions.
Juno Award winner, wonderful person, super high top level. I'm honored he want to work with me.
He does a lot of preparation in advance of the studio, so when he gets here, the guys basically are seeing these charts a lot of times for the first time, And we try and get it the first time because there's a spontaneity that you get from that, and that's the fun of it. Is trying to get like the first take magic with stuff.
So this is the idea of this suite called Urban Uranium. Urban because as one famous writer were calling the cities the tentacular giants, are prone to all kinds of different vector situations, different actions that can trigger all sorts of probabilities, all sorts of balances. So it's very, very, very interesting to see the image of the city today. That's why the word urban. Uranium because I think we arrived at some stability in terms of nuclear power, and a lot of people are thinking today about nuclear power more as a peace tool for energy than as a warmonger. So the idea is that let's use all our energies for peace and sticking together. That's why Urban Uranium.
Well, actually, very much everything is improvised. The little bit of writing that we get, specifically drum and percussion, is sometimes when he wants to define some kind of time signature. But most of the time, everything is improvised. Allow us, have a lot of room for us to be creative and put our own ideas in top to his composition.
He doesn't rehearse because he wants spontaneity in the music. So that's part of the reason. So for me, playing drums, it's probably a bit easier because he doesn't give me a lot of charts. Whereas the other guys, they have to read his notes, actual notes, and he gives them charts. So it might be a bit harder for them, I don't know.
Well, his scores, his charts are very clear, so they're easy to read because they're very clear, you can see. So that means we don't have to rehearse because it's very, very clearly laid out. And it's more fun to be fresh with it, right? So it's in the moment. We say, here we go, this is a chart. We'll do this, do that, without too much preparation. It's in that moment we decide, okay, try that, and then Johnny plays, and then so all these decisions are made in the moment. That gives it a special kind of energy rather than, you know, I send you an email and a month ahead, we will do this, we'll do that. Once I have all that information, it's like we already did it. It's not necessary anymore.
You know, he thinks he can play basketball, but he can't. He tries to challenge me, but that's another story.